All right, young money. Yeah, that's right. Write the percent as a decimal. So we're talking about, I guess we're talking about percents and fractions and decimals still. So we got 35% as a decimal. I think the easiest way to do this is actually just to make the percent into a fraction. Hopefully you learned that on the last video or in the last class. But percent means out of 100. So I'd make this literally 35 out of 100. And then if you know your place values in decimals, if you remember that, I'll just make up a random number here. 0.725. This 7 right here, it's called the tenths place, T-E-N-T-H-S, not to be confused with the tens place, which would be right here, T-E-N-S. This 2 right here is the hundredths place, and then this is the thousandths place. So literally, when we say 35 hundredths, we could write the decimal to 2 places, 0.35. And that's all you have to do to write a percent as a decimal. You can try these next two on your own, and look at this right here. We've got a little wolf. Carlos fears this problem right here. There's a little hiccup. It's not as easy as it first looks. Pause the video, see if you can get these next two problems. Alright, this one right here, 80%. If we were to write that as a fraction, that literally means 80 out of 100. So, as a decimal, we could actually write this two ways. We could write 0.80, meaning 80 hundredths, or we could even write the number 8 tenths. They mean the same thing if you're, if you have those decimal grids, you know what I'm talking about, those things where they divide it up and you can either cut this up into 100 blocks or you cut it up into 10 blocks. It's going to equal the same amount. You're going to end up shading in everything to the left pretty much of this line that I just drew. You shade this all in here. And either way, you get 8 tenths or 80 hundredths. This last one here, 2%. So a lot of people, what they do is they say, oh, well, all you're doing is sliding the decimal over 2 spots and writing 0.35, and I'm just going to write 0.2 here. Ugh. No. No. Because remember, this is 2 100ths, 2 out of 100. And this number right here is saying, if you read it as a decimal places up here, this is literally saying 2 tenths. So you've got to include a 0 in front of it. Okay, 0.02 is 2 hundredths. Then writing decimals as a percent, look at this, we've got another wolf here. So if you want to pause the video and try these 3 problems, you can. Keeping in mind this problem right here, it's just like the last one when we only have 1 digit. Don't be so sure about what you get. Alright, so 22 hundredths, I could write this as a fraction. That would be 22 over 100. And of course, percent means out of 100, so this would be 22%. This one right here, well, as a fraction, if you were to read the place value correctly, this means 1/10. So 1/10, well, that's not out of 100. So a percent literally means out of 100. We should make this out of 100. So if you find an equivalent fraction, we're multiplying the denominator by 10. You got to do the same thing to the numerator up here. 1 times 10 is going to equal 10. So this is literally 10%. And you might have thought initially, well, 0.1, that means it's 1%. It's not the case. And if it helps you, if you are just sliding the decimal along to figure out that it's 22%, well, know that you have to slide along twice. So maybe annexing a 0 would be a good idea here. Slide along twice and you'll get 10%. And if you're following that 10% that 10% thing, following it, sliding it twice, this one here would become 75% because literally the number is 75 hundredths, which means 75 on 100 is 75%.